achieve success with Global.Media.com. Let's celebrate it with or without champagne.
Yay! We are live, so my screen tells me. So
Yes, we are.
You have your LinkedIn on, right? Superb.
Yes.
Okay. So we'll add your other channels with time. Okay, let me get rid of that banner. That banner that's in the wrong place, clearly. I bet it creates one for us. Hello, world. Hello, Christina. How are you?
I'm great, Annie. Well, thank you for putting this together. It's an exciting topic. Escaping the 9 to 5.
Yeah,
When was your escape?
yeah, well, I think that we'll escape sometime, right? Well, I think maybe we don't all. Most people will find the chance and the energy, the power, to escape. It's a brave thing, though. So I remember my escape. There's different reasons we find the escape, I think. So mine was redundancy. Well, I had the option to take redundancy. And I liked the job when I started, but I hated the job by the end. So I was dying to leave. So I figured, let me fleece them. So I threatened to take them to court for discrimination. I'm like, pay me more, otherwise I'm not leaving. And they paid me more. So literally, so it bought me a good couple of years to get training in marketing. So I did marketing courses, and so I wasn't doing the two side by. I wasn't doing my side hustle side by side. I just, I had. So mine goes back many years before, long before that. So in 2000, I joined. My first job was a marketing agency. So first job, my first real job after uni. Now, a marketing agency that did online marketing. So that's where the internet thing came in, and then I said, I had big dreams with it. I thought the internet was going to make the world a better place. I thought to make the marketplace fairer. Because why can't someone in back end of Italy, back end of Spain, back end of Africa, back end of Nigeria compete with the big brands? If you make good products and have good services, the internet opens it all up to everyone, right? That's what I thought anyway. And then when I looked back into 2009, 2010, the internet was broken already. The big boys are winning everything. So in my heart, I told myself, okay, I'm going to go and fix this problem, because I was deeply, deeply upset. It just didn't go the way I thought. So I thought, let me go and put it right. And then eventually, so my chance came where I could sulk and then leave my job. So I went to go and got training, and I started my company. Yay! But even then, the struggles are great. But I suppose you've done the side hustle and day job thing, right?
Yeah. So this is my 5th business, and I did a lot of reverse engineering, right? So I did a lot of.
You've learned something in each of them. That's what I figure out.
But I actually started with, growing a side hustle that I had, and gaining all the skills that I eventually ended up utilizing to build a career working for a company. But even when I was succeeding, even when I was getting promoted, when all my leaders were so proud of me, something was missing, because I just wanted to go higher and higher and higher. It was not because I wanted more money. I realized that it wasn't that at all. It's that I wanted to be the one making the decisions, making the creative choices. And, even I think when I last was promoted in 2022, I probably I managed to create the best, most ideal job for myself. But something inside me told me, this is not safe. This is not good enough. And sure enough, about 11 months ago, this company, all those leaders that I'm talking about, they were all gone, layoffs, and there was a merge. And for some reason, they kept me they kept me around, right? But the job wasn't the same. I was praying every day that am I getting laid off today? Something was, and I just pushed harder. I already started building this particular business 3 to almost 4 years ago. But when this happened, it was like, oh, there you go. This is my sign. I was definitely right. And I decided to just create 30 hours in addition to my 40 hours, in which I would really create proof that I could be safe. And so I ended up, I used to take a train to work. So I would use my lovely 3 hours commute to actually work, create ideas, create LinkedIn posts, materials that I would share with clients. And once at home, after dinner, I would spend an hour or 2 hours, working, connecting, messaging people. And then the weekends were my business working days. So I had actually clients I would serve on Saturday and Sunday. And that created my own social proof, my own personal social proof that I needed for myself, that, having started this business in a different way than the for previous business that I was talking about before, I needed that. The biggest differentiator was is that I was not 20 years old anymore. I was not 30 years old anymore. I was not 40 years old anymore. Almost 50. So I needed that. I gotten gun shy. I was a little.
Sorry, I have to say you're not that old. You're still young.
Yes, but it's something that can really mess with your mind because you see all these other creators being very, very young. And so I just needed to really identify who it is that I wanted to help and who I was doing it for, what it is that I was doing exactly, and create many versions of it, because when I work with a client, it's not the same for everybody. So there is different things that I do for different people, but they all live under an umbrella. And that's probably something we should talking about, really understanding what it is that you're doing and you're offering. And, what's this the thing that changes the whole mindset from what it is a side hustle, really, what makes it a real business. What are those things that you need to sacrifice? And it's an escape, yes, it's freedom. But at the beginning, you're not exchanging the 9 to 5 for another 9 to 5. It's not equal 8 hours to 8 hours. At the beginning, you may really pour 12, 14 hours into your business. And even even when you said, okay, I'm done for today, you're still thinking about it. And it's going to be like that for, the first few years. It's going to be like that. It's going to be like that until you are at a point where you say, okay, there is some level of automation or anything, something to that effect. But if the thing that you build means that much to you, you're never going to be able to really dedicate 8 hours to it. Doesn't mean that only for 8 hours you have to be on your computer, working away at your keyboard, or getting ideas and working with clients. In the case of LinkedIn, where a lot of us work with clients, it just means that you're always going to be thinking of the next thing that you're going to be doing. Are you going to be improving things? And what really makes you feel prepared and secure for the next step, because we're not here to build something that is going to be static, right? Okay, this is the business, it is going to give me this exact salary that is going to be exactly what I used to make in my other job. That's not an escape. You're here to scale. So that's one thing that I wanted to sort of make clear. It's not a trade, 8 hours of work for 8 hours of work. And we have to prepare in a way. So how do we get prepared, right? Don't quit your job right away if you don't have to, unless you lose your job. If you have, like Annie said, he was able to. Actually, I think Annie, you said that you had a redundancy, and you were able 2 years. You were able to get 2 years under you to build and prepare. In my case, I had 3.5 years in which I was building prior to leaving my job. But there were not every year and every day was not the same. It gradually, everything gradually grew. The level of commitment that I gave what I was doing grew. And also, when you're ready to make the leap, everything changes. So when I first started, I was testing this business maybe a few hours a week, trying to learn all the tools that I needed. helping people in the community without charging, just to see if what I had to give was actually elevating or helping somebody. Then I created my first mini offers, and I began marketing those and promoting those and building a clientele. And what I found out is that it was not just me posting on LinkedIn and you know, sitting there now that my profile was okay and waiting for the clients to come in. I had to actively talk to people. I had to have many of those things that we call coffee chats, right? And thank God they're not all with coffee, because otherwise I would have gone crazy, because I had way too many of them in a day. But well, having coffee chats, what it did was not, it was not, they were not things to sell what I was building. It really was an opportunity to learn from others. Sometimes it was learning because actually they had something to teach me. Some guidance, I thought, they were contacting me for guidance, but then I was learning at the same time. And some other times the coffee chat really made me understand who needed my help. And I thought that I was offering something that a potential client needed, and instead they were contacting me for something completely different. So that helped me diversifying my offers. So now I don't do just one or two, three offers. They really change over time. They're not static. So a lot of us, we're here, we are on LinkedIn, we get contacted by a lot of people that say, I have a lead generation this, lead generation that, done for you. Unless we should invest in ourselves, and we should definitely have the conversation and learn from others. But you should be the person that understands your brand first, because it's by you understanding your brand that you can have those conversations with those clients that then clench your sales, or that turn somebody that is interested into a client. That's the whole thing. So when you offshore, some of these to others that they promise to bring to you clients that are ready to sign up, you end up meeting these people and really, perhaps what somebody else told them is not really what your forte is, what you're good at, because nobody can really understand your brand like you. And if you work with somebody, you have to make sure that the somebody understands you and your brand. So those are some of the things I learned along the way. Also, escaping requires a plan. So when you decide that, I need to quit this job, or uh, like Annie said, towards the end you're hating it, right? As much as you want to, just to say that's it, I quit. You have to be strong and really do a financial assessment on yourself and say, hey, this happened. If this is my last day, will I be desperate tomorrow looking through LinkedIn or Indeed and looking for another job? Or will I just breathe, take that 1 week off and say, that's it. Now I'm stepping into my other life, right? You can only do that if you plan. You can only do that if you build a runaway for yourself. You can do it in many ways. You can just do it by saving money, or you can do that by not spending the money that you make during the side hustle phase, right? So you keep the money for you there to build the 6 months minimum of expenses, and you have a plan B. So, say you want to be a mindset coach, and you work as an accountant, two completely different things, right? So it's not like if you finish your accountant job life and all of a sudden you're the mindset coach sitting in the office and see if your secretary booked appointments. I mean, it might be that you're there, but for most people, it's not exactly like that. So you really have to assess all of your skills and think, if I need to earn something while I'm building my dream business, what is it that I can do? So maybe you can consult on some accountancy on the side, right? Maybe you can sell some things. Maybe you just have to look at all your skills. In my case, I actually, part of what I do is that I had 20 plus years of e-commerce experience. So I know that no matter what, even if what I'm building is different, I can actually generate revenue with e-commerce. And it's part of what I teach to some of my clients because that's their brand. So I knew that for a while the two things had to live together. This particular brand that I was building, plus other things that I learned along the way. And it's very, very tempting when you have, along your life, during your lifetime, you build many skills, and you actually might enjoy not just one but a couple of things you do. It's very tempting to get sold on the multiple income stream thing and wanting to do just about a little bit of everything. But if you don't pick one, and you don't pick one that is just going to be your escape but not your main focus, uh, it's never going to happen. Your energy really needs to be focused on that. So you have to make it really the real mental shift in with yourself in your life, where you say, this is the business that I decided to build. This is what I'm going to talk about every day, and reach out to people and see if they can help me develop the social proof. And this is where my skill set has been. Could be marketing, could be maybe you were an accountant, you maybe worked in HR, you maybe were litigation lawyer in the past, right? Whatever it is, that you have a circle of people there that know you for that. And if it's something that is an easy conversation and you can monetize it, and although it's not what you want to work for, it can help you build the runaway. Once you make the leap, once you know you have the runaway, then you are all in. And all in means you're dedicating however many hours it takes for your business to take off, for you to take off, really, for you to now know that this is your new life, and it's not going to be 9 to 5. That's the whole thing. So this thing that you're stepping in is not 9 to 5 at all. uh, Working online, utilizing social media channels.
Let's stay there for a second. Let's stay there for a second.
Okay, good.
As amazing friends are here. Sharon Rose, I see you, my friend. Thank you so much for being here. As always, Celestia, welcome. To Mike the Genius. Oh, Mike, he's a genius as well. So thanks for joining us. I'll go through your comments properly in good time, my friends. So give me a second. No, Mike's never given 40 hours a week. I can see why, my friend. I can see why. Who else is here? Oh, Ileana, I see you too. Welcome, welcome. I saw Michael, Mr. Calm, in the comments on YouTube. So, hopefully they'll show up here. All right. I think Mike mentioned something about exit strategy. Mike said start with the end in mind.
Correct.
An exit plan. Don't do that. Ignore Ignore Christina. We're gonna argue. We can argue about this all day, right? There's no plan B. Go all in or don't go in. Is what I say. Right? No, that's generally my take. Right? That's not my take. I have no plan B. I think people may mistake what I just said. I think plan B gives us if I fail, there's another option. But I think if you're serious in business, you have to go all in, 110%. No, do or die, literally. That's the fuel I needed myself to build my business, right? Of course. Now the reason I stopped you where you did. There's many things I'm sure we're going to talk about, right? Is being sure. Are you ever sure?
Being what?
Are you ever sure? in business, you're never certain because today, no, say for most people who make the transition, they go through what I call feast and famine, peaks and troughs, right? Today you get a new customer, you're like, I'm rich, I'm doing this is working.
Today.
Tomorrow you lose a customer, you're like, F, I'm dying, I'm bankrupt, I'm done. Right? I think but it's a constant battle. It's a constant battle against yourself, I think. Maybe of course you're battling against the market. I think deep down it's a battle with myself. Do I now all the things you mentioned, do I really believe what I'm trying to do? Have I made sure that there is a market for what I do? Have I created a product that serves that people actually do want? I'm saying these are the things I think we need to look at before we even think about starting our business, right? Sharon Rose, exit strategy for a viable company is important. Can sell to another. We can, but that's years away. You're talking about years now. Yes, I'm sure you can think of that at the beginning. It may change your thinking. It may change, because I think the company that's worth selling has to have assets. It has to be able to be packaged, and it has to be able to be packaged without you, without me. We're not the assets. We are a hindrance to a new buyer, to a new owner. They don't want the old owner sitting there looking at them in the corner going, I wouldn't do that. Not sure I like that. That's not how I would do it. No, they just don't want us around. So they want staff, they want systems, they want products and services of value that they can sell. They want your client list. They want your database of clients. That's what they're really buying. What they're not buying is you and me. As soon as we sell our company, normally we're fired. I'll go somewhere else and find something else to do, right? So exit strategy, look, I get it. But that's later on. I think welcome Dr. Marcia, the super author of a new book. I think it's launching tomorrow, right, Dr. Marcia? I see Final Faith. No, something to that effect. I'll tell you about the name of the book. Dr. Marcia sends me the links. My brain just doesn't work that well like it used to, right? But it is. It's a great book. I bought the book. I read the beginning of it. So, it's how do you find your way through the pitfalls of life when you lose hope. What we're talking about now, really, right? We're gonna lose hope. You're gonna doubt yourself. You're gonna wonder whether you've gone crazy, giving up to your 40-hour a week work for. Right. How many hours do you work a day? I tell you, there's no end. There's the reason I say this, Christina. I'm going to come back to you. I see Mr. Karma's here as well, right? So many people talk about boundaries these days, Christina. It gives me a headache. I'm like, what are you talking about? When you work for yourself, boundaries, you're kidding yourself, right? Those who have those, I can say it here, maybe nowhere else. Right, everywhere else I say they're like, "Any, shut up." Look, if you're gonna have boundaries, don't call me at 5:35 p.m. because I stop work at 5. You're joking yourself. It doesn't work. To build a business, you're gonna have to be all in. Your clients are your thing. Your clients are the ones who make your business exist. My faith looks up, Dr. Marcia. I see you, my friend. So, please share the link in the comments. My faith looks it's available on Amazon. It is launching tomorrow. Don't share the link, Dr. Marcia. Don't buy the book until tomorrow, my friend. Otherwise, it doesn't count towards a bestseller. Maybe she doesn't want a bestseller, but literally, if you're gonna buy the book, make sure you're gonna buy it tomorrow, right? Welcome, America. I see you. Welcome. So, Dr. Marcia, share the link. So, check out the book. So, copy and paste the link into your browser. So I bought my copy. Go and buy the book. It's a good read. So like I say, these days of the hardships you're going to experience in life, maybe it's a divine thing. Maybe it's a divine test. Literally, I can truly accept this. Is God's testing you? I'm trying to say to you, do you really want this? Right? But what you can't do is create these boundaries that people talk about all day on LinkedIn. I'm like, stop talking about boundaries. I have no boundaries. My boundaries, my customer needs. My customer needs, I'll do. Yes, I always have done. I'm not up because my customer needs. I'm up because I need to get tomorrow's work done. As you said, Christina, right? I know what needs doing. I must get it done. But I can't do I work 8 hours a day and that's it. I wish I could. I just can't. My work doesn't fall into that sort of cycle of work. What say you? Let's talk about boundaries for a second.
Well, so when I talk when so I like boundaries, but not in this context. Actually, boundaries was what I needed to be able to get here. So I being I actually was a workaholic at work, right? And why was I a workaholic at work? Because I was building something for a while, a couple of years ago. When I was talking about the promotion, I was building something that I put so much work into it and so much passion into it that I tricked myself to think that was mine. My brain actually believed that was mine. I treated it like my business. So that was the first boundary that I had to learn, especially when I was hit with a cold shower, when that merge happened, that this is not yours. You dedicated, your heart and soul to it because it was so aligned with you that it made sense, right? But this is not yours. So that's the first boundary right there. Also boundaries, the people around you, your family, your friends. When you're preparing to do something like that, if you have anybody that is a naysayer or making jokes or thinking, oh yeah, right, fantasy like that, oh no, you gotta tune them out. So that's a boundary that you need right there. And some of them you cannot get rid of because they're your family, and that's okay. Uh, like my father, I love my dad, but he was the biggest skeptical, so he's the biggest skeptic of all times, right? But I converted him. So, but the ones that you can control, though, those people that what you can control, you need to put a boundary there. Now, in this context, boundaries, when you work, the hours that you give yourself, when you will do your lives, it's something that you can do after you're on a steady ground, or something that you can do with some limits, right? If a potential big project is coming along and that really means something big for the business that you're building, and the person says, but I can only meet with you on Sunday. It's like, no, Sunday is my pool time. Absolutely not, right? Sometimes you have to adjust your schedule because actually this is a really important project, and so you're just gonna have to go for it because you don't have, in this initial phase, you might not have employees or people that can replace you, or the business really cannot sustain itself without you yet, right? That might be in the long-term project, in the future, where you can have other people working with you and making this business of you like something that scales and expands. But in the very initial phase, when you just escaped, when you just made the crossing, you actually cannot do that. You can kind of do it. Okay, this is the day that I will rest and it is my day off. But sometimes you gotta swap those days. And sometimes, and that's really good news, it works out that week you have calls and clients all week long and you just won't have a full day off, right? Now, the good thing about this new life you're stepping into is that you do not have to wake up at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock to go make the train, and you don't have to wait until whatever time to leave and go back to the station and go back home, or get back to your car and drive back home, right? So you have the kind of flexibility where you can carve your resting time or your relaxing time in the middle of calls. Sometimes you might have a 3 hours gap, and you say, okay, maybe I can do something, right? Or unless you have to do something else that is work related, but the boundaries that you set for yourself within this new life you're stepping in, uh, they're very flexible boundaries. You can do initial ones if it makes you feel better, but you have to learn that sometimes you have to make them really flexible, allow people in or new clients in, if it feels good, if it feels right, if it could be something important. Now, if it is, people that want to talk to you for the 15 minutes coffee chat at hours of the night, that's a boundary, right? So definitely no, don't take calls at midnight. I'm not saying that. But yeah, you have to have a little bit of flexibility there. And we also were talking about plan B. The plan B is not necessarily during the launch phase. When you take the leap, you have to take the leap. But it is something that if something goes wrong, uh, can allow you to bring in an influx of cash to start all over again, right? So in my case, I do have, I don't call it necessarily a plan B, but I do have something else that I do together with this that I actually built for so long that it kind of works in automation and it's part of what I teach my clients. So having 20 plus years of e-commerce, I built several print on demand stores. So I know that I have this stream of income that comes to me and can help me if for some I have an emergency, if I'm sick and I cannot work, and I'm losing 10 days of work because I'm in bed with influenza, right? So those are the plan B that I'm talking about. Especially if you do one-on-one coaching or if you train or consult, your plan B needs to be, okay, I don't work a regular job, so I don't have sick time. I don't have vacation time that I can use, right? So you have to think of those little things until your business is completely fluid and the income is coming in fluidly. Those little things that during that first year, if you have to take a week off, of course, as for an emergency, or if you decide that things are going pretty good and I think I actually want to go on vacation, it's either you rely on what you earn and the things you save, or maybe your plan B could be to invest that money, or you create something that works in autopilot that brings something in and is not the end of the world. You'll be still able to to say at the end of the year, I didn't lose all this revenue, because the fact is you don't know. You can estimate based on your previous success, but when you're doing this type of business, you really don't know what your monthly revenue can be like, unless you have one evergreen product or a few products that they're there and they're selling, and I'm doing my work to market them, etc., etc. You can guesstimate, but you really don't know how it's gonna go. Exactly to the dollar what is that I'm bringing in this month. So every day really counts. If you can contact this many prospects on this particular day, do it. Even if it's actually 5 more that I plan to do on a daily basis. Anytime you can do a little bit more, do it, because it will compound. And it really depends again on the type of business that you're building. But whenever you can, just compound the work and the leads that you build for yourself is going to work out in the long run. I'm working with people today I spoke to 3 months ago.
Mm.
So it takes a long that sometimes, it's not like, oh, I'm on a call, they really love me, all great, boom, they're going to pay today. It
If
doesn't work like
only,
that.
if only, Christina.
So,
If
so
only.
it's you have to cultivate, right, Danny?
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to plant the seed and cultivate. I think I think those are two different things in terms of building relationships. Is what it's called, really, right? First, you have to get to meet people. I agree, but I think even after you've met them, again, if you know that they need your help, I think many people forget to do the nurturing side, the cultivating side, the nurturing your leads. In a different day, different word, I would say to you, you have to cook your leads. Literally, you have to cook your prospects. You have to put them in a pot, stir the pot constantly, right? You have to keep talking to them. In other words, keep being their friend. Keep being around them. Keep say these events. One of the reasons I love events, I love this medium that we suddenly have on social media is because I can essentially spend time with my prospects every day, which I do. I invite the first people I invite to our events is my prospects, because I want to meet them again. I want to spend time with them. If I'm not spending the time with them here, I'm calling them on WhatsApp and I'm spending time with them. I'm in their events. I'm in their spaces. When I spend time with them. And eventually they will all turn up, like you say, Christina. They'll come when they need you, they'll come to you when the time comes for them, or when the time is right. Because you have been around, because you've shown them the love in the time in between when they showed interest in what you do and you getting to help them, they'll come to you. So, so many people made the mistake of thinking, all right, I spoke to that person. No, that's it. They didn't buy from me. Oh, terrible them, terrible me. And they let it go. They say, no. One of my tricks really is keeping my friends very close until I can serve them, and then we become even better friends. Christina, you're a perfect example. I said, you and I have known each other for a long time, right?
Yeah,
For a long time, you and I have done nothing together. But
that's true.
we've been in the same spaces. We've been. You come to my events, often. I've been to your events with Miss Angelica. I'm saying, I'm not just talking randomly. I'm saying, it's an active thing that we must all get to know. We must all learn to do. When we do, it pays off handsomely when the time comes. Yeah.
Exactly. And there are a lot of people, just,
Yeah.
I would say at least 10 people that I'm talking to these days
Hmm.
that I've known for a long time. I met them over the course of 3 years, audio rooms, events, and now we're doing something together, either collaborating or I'm helping them out with something. So that's how, also because I have the availability. So there is one thing, a big difference between when you do this part time while you're working and when you just move to do it full time. The biggest thing is, unfortunately, sometimes you might feel defeated during the building phase while you still keep your job. One, because you're drained and tired because you're doing two things. At one point, I had 70 hours I clocked in on a week. I was like, oh no. And unfortunately, over 50 of them were my job hours, right?
Hmm.
And but you're doing that part time, but you're limiting yourself. You'll get somebody that wants to talk to you. There might be a prospect or somebody that actually needs you right now, and they can only meet with you Monday 8 a.m. and you're at work. You can't. So you're
No.
gonna have to say no to that person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, you have to explain. Just be truthful
Hmm.
that you're not doing this full time. You have been doing this for a while, but together with and talk about what your career is, right? So at first I thought that is actually destroying my brand.
Yeah.
People are thinking that I need to go to work and they're not going to be working with me anymore.
Hmm.
Instead, I found out that there is at least three individuals that contacted me back then that I kept their contact and I reached out to them. Not only they were super happy for me, but actually they wanted to learn from me because I have proven to them and myself that you can indeed take the leap, step into something new. So, just try to keep an open mind and really be forgiving
Hmm.
to yourself during this building phase, right?
True.
Because it's really, especially if you're living in a stressful 9 to 5 before you actually transition, it's very easy to blame yourself, to lose confidence, to feel the fear, give up a little bit and say, maybe I should just scroll and see, what jobs are available right now and what
Yeah.
they're paying. So that
Don't
can
do that.
happen.
Don't do that. There's no plan
No,
B. There's no
I'm not
plan B.
doing it, but it happens. It can
I said,
happen.
don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. It's like property porn. Where you're looking at houses. You live in a house already. You look in a house and you think, oh, I could have. No, don't. You're torturing yourself, right? Your business is
Exactly.
it has to be your passion. When someone mentioned earlier in the comments, what is, I think Sharon Rose has all mentioned it. What's passion when it comes to, doing a business, right? And that passion isn't scheduled, says Sharon Rose. I agree that your passion, is, yes, I think we need to approach the transition, Christina, as what I call our burning ambition. This was a common trick. I find that this wasn't just one army that did this. By the way, literally, the Romans did it when they came to the UK, right? Basically they got the boats to Dover, and they burnt the boats. There's no turning back, my friends. If we don't win this war, we're never going to be. We're done. When you have that sense of urgency, sense of finality, sense of do or die, burning ambition, I think you're forced to find solutions. Yeah, so every day in business, you have to find solutions, right? And all the things you mentioned, Christina. Yeah, boundaries is for when you have staff. I agree. I know you didn't say that. I'm saying that boundaries is not for you. It's for when you have a team that you can have boundaries. You can't have boundaries once you build a team. Yeah, but that will take time, and that brings its own different problems. People, they're humans, right? They have needs, they have wants, and it's like, oh, really? I employ them, I fire them. I employ them, I train them, I pay them, and I sack them because they're humans, and they start being human. Any I want, I think. I'm like, you have to go. It's a hard thing, right? But look, let's go back a bit. Let's go back a bit. Let me welcome. Seeing the last people I've seen, Dr. Roxana, welcome. Thanks so much for joining us. So America, I've mentioned you. Thanks for joining us, of course. So Sharon Rose, I love your point. I guess when you say with the end in mind, I think we have to. I agree with you. We have to realize that we need to create assets through the client needs.
Repeatable processes, yes.
Yes, exactly. And that's what people are buying when they buy your business. They're not buying they might be buying the brand, they might be buying the reputation you've built as well. It's nice. I get that, right? Otherwise you own your own job. No, let's talk about that for a second. So I don't object to owning my own job. I do say if left to it today, Christina, I would employ a manager to manage a business because I just love doing. I don't care I don't care what it is I'm doing. So I have this thing about, I think we all need to be master apprentices. People who, we're more in love with the tasks, with the things that we do, the service we provide, the products that we create, than being in love with anything else in our business. A lot of people actually don't like doing. I love, give me a chance, just leave me to do, right? The reason I love doing is because, one, I can learn. Two, I can create better solutions. Whatever I do, say these events, for example, right? Say I do events, yes, but essentially I've created events. I've created the events that we have. Whether people believe it or not, it's up to you, right? And I'm saying, one day it dawned on me that any events are new. No one knows what they're doing. So I'm like, I can do what I want to do. And if you look closely, my friends, when you go to other events, you find that many people do what any does. Yay! That's why I'm still here doing events, right? I'd like to improve things my way, but that comes from doing. If you suddenly have a team and you stop doing, then I think I don't like being so removed from the thing that we do. Are you with me? I want to be a master at what we do and then keep improving that to become an even better master. Create better solutions. My clients are happier. I make more money. Right? Do we really need that team? The question, Christina. Maybe to you too.
It depends. Yeah, it depends what you're doing, right? And so here's the thing: every business or every escape from 9 to 5 is different for everyone. It really depends what it is that you set yourself to build. If you set yourself your build something that you can just run the show, be the only person, and that's actually what works for you. Not everybody needs to make billions. Not everybody needs to have a 15, 20, 30 million business, right? There are people that are perfectly happy bringing two, $300,000 a year doing this, and that's an escape for them. They feel like if they achieved what they really really wanted and makes them happy, the whole key here is actually doing something that makes you happy. Do we need a team? Do we need people? So if you decide that you want to scale, that you want to branch out, that your vision is taking this wonderful, is taking shape, and you envision bigger, serving more people. Because if you do what I want, what I'm doing right now, if I did it forever by myself, I probably, I can find way to grow with courses, and I have already some system that I'm repeating and packages that I created that it's already there. When I meet with somebody, that's what it is, and I just have to modify them slightly. You can do that, right? But if you want to scale, you're gonna need some help. And what Annie said is really crucial here. At the initial stage, especially, you have to know everything. You have to learn everything. Even as you grow, you still have to be in it, because you're never going to be able to hire the right people if you don't know enough about the thing you need help with, and you need to hire somebody to make the right choice. Say you were a really good mindset coach, and you're really good at what you're doing, and you help so many people, and you focused on one platform, and that platform has worked for you, bringing you some clients that just makes it perfect for your lifestyle. But now you want to grow, and or you're experiencing a lull where you're not able to get enough clients in, and so you decide to hire somebody that knows marketing. Great, but how are you going to pick them?
Mm.
When you talk to them, and you interview them, you have to know enough to know if what these people are promising you is
Mhm.
actually going to work, not in general, right? It's actually going to work for you and where you're at. So there are a lot of people here on LinkedIn that sell lead generation and the done for you systems and websites and whole ecosystems. They are great products, but they don't work for everybody. They might work for somebody that is already established and has a presence, and they need a tool just to amplify where they are right now. But it's very often uh, people that approach these type of businesses, they just open their LinkedIn account, they got an idea, they want to get started, and they really don't know what they're doing. So they're going there before they learn how to navigate the platform where they decided to do business in. So that's what I think is important. Anybody can start something. Anybody can start building before escaping the 9 to 5. Uh, Anybody can have the passion, the drive, and the ambition to build something, but they have to be willing to be in it, to do the work, right? Or
Yeah.
to talk to the people that can teach them. So the
Mm.
first thing, if I was somebody that was listening to this for the first time with a small LinkedIn presence, and I had a couple of ideas, and I'm listening to Annie and Christine and say, okay, I want to get there too. The first thing that I would say is find somebody that teaches you how to navigate everything. So that and you don't have to necessarily pay. You can start connecting with people that are doing the same thing that you're doing, exchange ideas, really learn the ecosystem of where you're in first, because LinkedIn can work very well for you as a landing page eventually, as a place where people find you, right? But yeah, it's gonna come a time where you're gonna branch out. Definitely, it's gonna come. This is gonna come a time for curiosity when you want to use other tools, and you're gonna be using other tools. But you gotta build the muscle first.
I agree. I agree. I agree entirely. Look, so Dr. Marcia says, I would say everyone should start before losing your 9 to 5. Dr. Marcia, I'm totally with you. You know, jump out of a plane and have the bits to make the parachute in your hand on the way down. But you have to
Hmm.
make the parachute, otherwise you're gonna die, right? The
Exactly.
Duke's
Or,
scared.
or you can call them Plan B, right? Or parachutes, or you can
It's not.
call.
You have to make the parachute. You have to save yourself. You have to learn very quickly and work under pressure. You have to work under the stress of being your own boss. That's what I mean. No, I agree with the Sharon Rose boundaries versus time management. Very different things. I agree. I agree. Many people mistake this. They think boundaries. I see it every day. The people who are they're keen, Christina. They're keen to make money. They're keen to help people. They're not. They're lying because they say to you, "I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to." And it's like, if you want to work with people, be more flexible. Be more flexible. You have to meet the customer's needs, not the customer's meets your needs. When you get big enough, you can assign staff, right? You can say, right, staff, account manager, you deal with those customers. They're your customers, not they're mine. But but saying that day brings his own problems. But that's Marcia. Jump, jump, jump. Make a choice, my friends. Make a choice. If you're serious, all the things Christina said so far come into play. So I mean, some of those we'll go over. Miss Pepperoni, how are you doing? Miss Pepperoni, I don't know. I miss you. So we did one show together. I've got a list of topics I really want to discuss. I can't do it without you. How are you? I'm glad you're here. Let's talk to Mr. Calm. Mr. Calm is bound to have some questions, some crazy ideas. He's going to tell us he's ready. That's his new thing today. Let's see how it works. Mr. Calm, meet Christina. How are you doing?
Hello, Miss Christina.
Hello.
Um,
Quiet, quiet, louder,
I'm
louder.
I'm currently undisposed, but I will be with you in about 10 minutes.
Okay, that's all right then. Cool, cool, cool. All right. I'm glad you're here though. It's cool. All right. No, so Christina, let's go back to the beginning. So tell our friends how you help. Let's start there. Tell your friends how you help people and who you help, how you help.
So along the way, I found out I have this superpower. I spent so much time listening to my own dream and my own thing that I wanted to create, um, that I actually found that I really get excited when somebody has an idea and says, "This is what I want to create." And probably must be, I don't know exactly why. It might be the years of e-commerce experience that I have, or the fact that I just like to create and build things, and that has always been part of either my career or the business that I was putting together. The way I help, I try to I see possibilities in how you can monetize this idea of yours and the business that you're trying to put together. Uh, and it can be, sometimes when we think of a business, we think of only one road and one trajectory and one way is gonna ever gonna make money and be able to be monetized. But there are so many things in there that you might not notice right away, and that help you not only build authority, but also it becomes a product. So it's really individual, depends on the person. But say you have a traditional business and you want to bring that business online. Say the traditional business is something that you never thought of bringing online because you really deal with vintage cars and you repair them, and now you want to build an online presence. It's like that, and online doesn't really seem like something that I could do. But guess what? Right there, you have expertise. You've repaired these cars, dealt with these cars, for so long that you have knowledge, you have terminology, you know what to call the parts, you know how to source some of the things, and you know what you need to do to bring one of those in pristine conditions. He's actually somebody I work with. So, they thought that the only way they were going to be bringing more business in was simply to find somebody to give them the vehicles, and somehow they were going to sell them online now, right? Yes, that's a possibility. And then there is a whole can of worms there. But instead, we ended up monetizing their presence making them, the go-to person, the person that had knowledge. Ended up going up and going ahead and opening an eBay store where actually he was selling all those things that he thought was leftovers and junk, and actually make a profit out of that. And he's now working on a couple of other things. But so that's exactly what I do. I see an idea, uh, and I really dissect it and see all the possible way that it can be monetized using either e-commerce or using LinkedIn, even just sharing the knowledge, training somebody on some things. And I used that example because probably the most unlikely LinkedIn thing to do, or the most unlikely, e-commerce online thing to do. It was somebody that came to me just because they actually wanted to be, visible online. They wanted a website, and they found out they didn't need a website at all. So, that's what I do. I also try to really understand people that I'm working with and where they're at. uh, a lot of people that contact me, they have a small LinkedIn presence, and they have this idea for a business, and they immediately go there, website, logo, do I need to register my company as an LLC? Who do I need to hire? It's like, wait a second, you just started. And so I teach them how to create and build an ecosystem where they can make the right contacts. And they soon realize that, sure, the website or the landing page is nice and it's going to come and will come and has come, right? But not before you actually test your product. And what a better way to test your product, than using social media, than talking to people, than connecting with others that are in your same niche. So I talk a lot about niche too. And when I talk about niche, it's not like, okay, you have to be very detailed, picking a niche or a type of industry, and you have to stay in that. The niche is actually the point of contact. The niche is the first thing that sparked your idea, and the passion behind it, and what it is that you want to build, and how do you test and how do you find those potential prospects, or those potential customers or clients. Well, utilizing that niche actually to connect with others, right? uh, Going in those groups, that doesn't have to be LinkedIn groups, but other groups or circles, frequenting where those conversations are currently being held. You're not going there to fish and to collect clients right away, especially if you're just starting out. You're going there to learn and understand how things are done, how things are built, and also how people that are doing exactly what you dreamed of, how are they doing them? What's their ecosystem? What their ecosystem looks like, right? Are they successful? Does it look like if they are an LLC or they're working under their name? And does a website have a website or not? Does it look fancy, or are they mainly on YouTube? What's going on? What is that I can learn from others doing the same thing? So it's a part of what I do is a lot of coaching and learning and training on how to put all these pieces together, and to build offers, to build the product, to build the ecosystem behind it, and to find all the many different ways that your brand can be monetized, and then pick the one that works and run with it. Some of the people I worked with, they pick the one that worked and they run with it, and then they reach back out saying, okay, now it's time to scale. What else can we do? In a nutshell, that's what I do, Annie.
And that's, you are, I guess, both of us are proof that there's different types of marketing, different levels of marketing. So when Christina and I were talking, I said, I don't want the people you want to work with. I don't want them. I'm going to send you the people I don't.
Thank you, Annie.
Right? I want people who are market ready. I want people who are not just market ready. I want people who created unique solutions. Otherwise, my conversations would be boring. And so I need people who are ready to go, ready to impact the world, and have the drive. My frustration, says the ones I'll send to you, Christina. are the ones I just
Thank you,
started.
Annie. Do you want me to send you my frustrations too?
It's fine. You can send a no, the tender is in post is what we say in England, right? Send a £10 note in the post, I'll take it, right? For each time I send you a referral. So everyone knows. So there's different levels, and Christina enjoys working with very small people. And sometimes I like working with
Very
small
small
people.
people become really big, really fast.
They can, but only if they do half the things that we're saying today. So only if they learn, as you've been said, they have to be willing to learn, right? Now, not everyone's willing to learn.
You
No.
know, I'll
Okay.
tell you a story if you have 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Uh,
please
so,
go for it.
so I put together a class for the nonprofit I used to work for, uh, and I called that Selling Online, right? And it was exactly that. It was where the class ended up being was all kinds of people from different walks of lives that they wanted to make money on the internet, and some of them ended up having business and earning more money than I'm currently earning, being very successful. And actually, there were people that the first thing that they needed to do was to learn what is Facebook, what is LinkedIn, what is it exactly. They only had, they were, a little bit older, old school. They knew how to use the browse, shop, send emails, all that. And some of them had many years, either, work experience, only they just never thought. I mean, they had the idea, and they thought maybe to have the idea, I have to have the shop, or I have to have a big investment. They never thought they could actually build these online. And I still do that. I actually now teach entrepreneurship in a school, and I do a similar class. And the I love the light bulb moment. When somebody thinks, "What is this print on demand thing? What are you talking about?" Sure, I keep shopping print on demand items because I enjoy them and I doodle all day long, right? But I need to have all the skills to do it. And Instead, I love those light bulb moments where somebody learns how to put it together and how to build a store using all kinds of tools. Actually, I did this class last Friday, and we started with AI, right? We started with AI, ChatGPT and Perplexity to brainstorm ideas for some shops from some stores. And we started with them just putting all their passions right there and see what came out of it. And then building their mission statement. And out of their mission statement, we used the AI to get ideas for products that they enjoyed. And then we used other websites to actually build this product and create them. And, there was just 20 people, and three of them came out. So 20, and three of them, they got it right away. And, others are still learning. But they came out with a whole vision for a store and a brand, and uh, they just needed to have all the pieces together and know where everything was, right? The tools, where the tools are. So that's the part that I enjoy, those light bulb moments. People that they had so many years preaching at congregations or going to women's group and enjoying really talking and elevating other. They just don't know that they heard of podcasts, right? But they don't know how to put one together, what tools to use, or that there are podcasting tools out there, or they can even go live on LinkedIn and start, right? So this is what I really enjoy to do. Having said that, I also work with corporations. I also do classes for employees, right? And I had so many years in scaling operations. That comes along, yeah, that's my plan B. If a company contacts me about scaling revenue, I'm also there. But yes, my favorite thing is the light bulb moment.
Awesome. Sorry, I'm drinking my water. I do get
And
I
I
got a
that.
will
couple of
follow.
questions for Christina.
Yeah, so we'll come to you. So we're coming to you now, Michael. Talk to us.
Hello, Christina. How are you?
Hi.
All right. I'd like to find out which country do you do business in?
Oh, well, mostly here in the US. I work with people in Italy also because I'm Italian. and I have a client currently in Germany. So I stay pretty open, but going back to the boundary thing, I try to make sure that it's during my awaken hours.
Okay,
I like
So that's the one
very
boundary
sweet
I
of you.
have. Yes, within time zones, I work with several countries.
You do need your sleep, that's for sure.
Yes.
And where do you want your future desirable clients to come from?
My future what?
Your future desirable clients, where do you want them to come from?
Well, I want them to come from a place of hope and creativity. So I don't want them to come from a location, right? I want them to be somebody that has perhaps flirted with an idea for many years, or after working at a job, decided perhaps I could do something similar for myself because I don't hate it. I enjoy it, and I would love to build something similar. That's what my ideal future client is, and that these are the people that I really work with. Main
And that
reason
is
for
how
this.
that is how you evaluate them if they meet
No,
those
I just say,
criteria.
I don't evaluate. I just have conversations with people and see if there is alignment. One thing that I will tell you is that I don't work with everybody. I work with people that really want it, right? People that are ready to do the work. Because I don't
like
do.
now she says it. I said that earlier. You're like, now you're nicer than me. Like I
Well, no,
want
the thing is that you have to. So I never done done for you. So
mm,
that's the other thing, right? I never done for you. I don't. There is some prototype packages, but I train people. I want them to be there with me. If they want to revamp their LinkedIn profile, I'm not just gonna look at what they have right there and tell me I want to be a mindset coach and get them. I can do that. I can go. I can find a banner. I can put something together that is not them and deliver it to them, and they might also pay for it. But the thing is, that's exactly what I do. I really want to understand the person goals, so that when something like that is built, for example, it really reflects who they are. And also, when I leave them, they don't feel stranded. So if
So
I
you're
do
not
something
going to
for
be a chat.
somebody and then I
You're
leave
not going
them,
to
they
be.
might not know where to go if they want to edit something, right? So that's what's very important to me.
Yeah, from what I see, what you're saying is that you're not going to be a chat GPT. That's not the way you operate.
No, I mean, many people do that.
Yes,
Okay,
I
tell me
have.
about you. Let's get you use. I mean, I use AI tools, and I would be lying because everybody now uses AI tools. It's like saying I don't use Google. So it's like saying that today. But
there's no victory there. That's just a lie. And also, what's the point? The tools
But
are there. We have to use them, right?
from what
exactly,
I
it's how do
understand,
you it's
you.
how you use them. It's how you
Mm.
Yeah.
use them, and as long as you don't do cut and paste, it's really how you use them, and it's a learning curve. Maybe a year and a half ago, I used ChatGPT, and of course I wrote my rough copy there, and then it looked good enough to me because that's what I wrote, and he cleaned it up for me. So I thought, okay, I can use that, but I don't do that anymore. I learned, right? I learned with time and the hard way, and I got better at using them. So you have to really get better at prompting these tools. The AI is only going to be as good as what you put in it. It's only going to be as good as you're willing to spend time refining what comes up once you put the prompt, right? And that's also part of what I teach some of my clients to do. Just the other day I had a conversation with somebody. Oh, I'll just go on chat and get my about page done. It's like, no, you just don't go on chat and just say, give me a thing for mindset coach.
Write to your page. Just write to your about page, and then ChatGPT can tidy it up and help you avoid
Exactly.
mistakes. I'm saying no, you can't. I don't like people who do AI. I like people who use AI because we all do that. That I think is a given, right? Michael, carry on, please. What are you trying to find out from Christina?
I'm trying to learn her because
Sure.
she's an interesting character.
I hope
Well,
so.
thank
Um,
you.
at
I
the
won't be
same
here
time,
without her otherwise.
she has the ability to. She's an augmenter. She augments businesses and makes them better. That's what she does.
Thank you.
Um,
It's a very nice compliment.
I feel that her capabilities, will take her far so long as she meets the right clients. Um, and I do believe that they're out there, and there are definitely plenty of them who require business augmentation. It's not just small people, but also big corporations like that as well. She's got the skills for scaling in big corporations. I think she spent the majority of her life doing that, or her time in business. Um, and that's an aspect that I have not understood very well, but she's here to explain it to me, and she's actually doing a quite good job doing that. So I certainly appreciate you coming on board, Christiana, and I hope you continue to do so later on down the road. Um, there is just one more thing that I wanted to ask you, and that was with respect to mission statements. Um, the way I see it, in my head, in particular, I have multiple projects going on in my mind, multiple. So, which means I probably have multiple mission statements, um, which implies, okay, do I do them all at the same time, or do I need someone like yourself, an augmenter, to figure out which ones I should do first and which ones I should do next, and then which ones I should do last?
All right. So when and this is something I struggle with for a long time. Not everybody's like, okay, I'm just gonna go work on this project, right? Especially when you're learning about online business, building a career, working for yourself. There is a tendency to try out a few things, and you might find yourself really passionate about more than one, two or three, or you may find yourself attached to different projects that are slightly different. And how do you make them live all under the same umbrella, right? So what I would do, and what I also do for myself in this case, is that I go with the one that logistically is working well for me and is the one that I'm focusing on, right? And that's my main, for example, on LinkedIn, that's my main profile. Uh, but then um, I try to find alignment between what it is, what my brand is, uh, what my work is right now, the work I do with my clients, and what I'm marketing myself with, and other project that I might be involved in. So I'll give you an example. I am involved with a project collaborating on LinkedIn with Lea Garcia, and we are promoting benefits. And it's like, well, you're escaping the 9 to 5 and you're promoting employee benefits. How is that even go together? It goes together because it is what brought me here, right? It is uh, wanting to have a good life, uh, noticing that something that I thought was good and my previous job was crumbling down and company culture was crumbling down, and the passion, the mission statement of the company and myself, right, was just not there anymore. It was not aligned. So by doing that, I found a way to align it, saying, okay, I'm working with making sure that those companies that have scaled, right, have something that they can offer others and that make their company and their business whole. Because we're not here to say that people working 9 to 5 they just got it all wrong, right? We're not here to say that everybody needs to leave the 9 to 5 and just start the business. Because guess what? Those businesses that are offering you the 9 to 5, at some point they were an idea. Somebody built them, somebody started them, right? So we should learn from them, and especially we should learn from them in what went wrong. what made you get out, right? So that's that's the way that I found alignment there. I just wanted to explain it, but it really depends. Every person is so different, right? We're all different. We're all working on different projects. So I don't know what you're working on, but you have to go with your main thing, the one that is really your heart and your soul, and you want to build this, or the one that is it is your heart and soul, but it's also making you money. Just go there, and then the other projects you have to call them umbrella projects, but you have to find how they're related to you as your brand, or to everything that you are about. There are many people or companies that have partners, or they're partnering with other companies that do slightly different things, right? But they have something in common. They have maybe some beliefs in common, and that can be another way in which you link it. So maybe they believe in the same missions, in the same good causes. So that's what I would do.
That's very astute of you. Um, and that was a very good reply to my questions. I really learned very quickly from what you said. There are also certain things that you said that uh, you know let me down to let me ask other questions. One of them is branding. I'd like to know, I understand that you have a brand. I'd like to know if you are your own brand. In other words, do you embody your brand? And
I
then,
am. I
aha,
definitely am my own brand.
ah, and that,
I definitely am my own brand, and I embody my brand. As a matter of fact, my brand exists because it's me. There is this thing behind me that says "Claim Your Space." And it's actually a funny story. Um,
go ahead.
I had a journal, something that I was writing, and
Hmm.
then I kind of organized it, and I realized that it was me building a brand, or me trying to gain the confidence to start again and build another business again. Because I had businesses before, but then I took all the skills that I learned out of that, and I ended up building a career. So, and it says claim your space because that's exactly it. When you want to start a business online, you have to claim space, online space. You have to show up. You cannot just say, "Here's my LinkedIn page. People come to me," right? So it's how many places do you want to show up with? In the case of LinkedIn, is it a comment? Is it a like? Is it messaging somebody saying, "I really liked your post," or messaging somebody saying, "Maybe I can help you"? Is it by writing an article? Is it by having a newsletter? Is it by going live today, right? Today, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm taking some online space. So it is exactly, you have to be willing to show up. You have to put yourself out there go to as many events as possible. Uh, do some posts if you like posting, right? Use features like write an article. If you're really passionate about something, don't do a ginormous post, right? Write an article. It's good. Google crawls them. It gives you visibility, and it's evergreen content. It stays there. And then if you have like an article or newsletters on your LinkedIn profile, at the very bottom, there is something that says publications, and you can quote them there. So yes, you have to, I embody my brand. I try to be in as many places as possible, especially now that my schedule has opened up, right? But I was doing that before too. In the carved time, in the carved hours, I was trying to be present. I was having conversations daily with multiple people, and that's the work that we have to be willing to do.
All right. That being the case, my other question would be, what is your mission statement?
A mission statement is to make sure that those wanting to build their dream have all the tools at their disposal not to be taken for a ride. So that's the one thing that is really important to me. I've seen so many people here, especially on this platform, experiencing exactly that. Especially people that were just starting out, all of a sudden just saying, that's it, I'm done. I don't want to start anymore. So many people have ripped me off here. So my mission statement is that's my mission. I want to help people that have a dream actually making it a reality. Now, if your dream is to become a billionaire within a year, I probably cannot help you, right? Because it takes time.
No,
But if
no
your
one can. No one can. Let's be
yes,
honest.
exactly. But if your dream is to actually build something out of a passion of yours and put it in a state where now it's earning an income and monetize it and making a plan on how to scale it, I can.
Mm.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time, Christiana. I certainly appreciate it.
No, no, you have to get this right. Christina. This Christiana is the other Christiana, Michael.
I do apologize, Christina.
Thank you.
And what is your other name? Segato?
Yeah, that's my last name.
Segoto? Or did
Sagato.
I? Segato. Okay, Christina Segato. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Look, say Sharon Rose is sharing some gems. Let me welcome Leanna first. So when Leanna is here, I'm happy. It means my world is at peace again. I haven't seen Dr. Lisa yet, but I'll live. No, so Sharon Rose, I agree with you. Now, Michael, this one's for you, I think. It says create a portfolio, create a roadmap for each of your services or your missions, and prioritize which one you're going to do first. So you have to you have to monetize first, so at least one, right?
Hmm.
And that gives you the excitement, that gives you energy, the buzz to carry on. I think Christina explained it quite well earlier. We've all got things that we can do on the side. It's some is on the side, some is a whole different thing, right? For years, whilst I was building my business, I was doing building and decorating because I own properties. That was nice. I would literally disappear for weeks on end to go and decorate one of my houses. I said that's one way, but then another way. So for a long time, I did ads and I did websites. Not myself. I was managing a project. I think there was also I spent a lot of time doing business planning for people.
So, if I
There's money in
understand
business.
correctly, Annie, you like interior design?
I was a builder
You
in my
dabble in
early
that?
life. I say when I was 18, I was a builder. So I spent 3 years in building trades. So I have skills that I can use, and also I just love turning a wreck into a glorious property. There's nothing like it. When you turn a total wreck into a palace, literally, that excites me more than you're ever going to realize. Now, left to it, if life said any, make a choice. What do you really want to do? And I probably choose building. To be fair, because I'm left to it, I can create genius. I can make people's lives infinitely so much better. When you walk into a house that's been done up for you, I don't think anything beats that joy. And I feel that joy. I felt it for years, but I'm old now, so I can't be bothered to be bending over. You're old, Michael, when
You can teach it, Annie.
when bending down hurts and when climbing the ladder hurts. That's when you know it's time to stop doing building, because now you're gonna hurt either way, right?
But you do
Yeah.
realize that you can remedy that.
No. I sewed up. No, so I put my money somewhere else instead. I don't say decorating. I don't want to die on the building sites. That's probably what it is. And I know an old man who died literally decorating his houses. So when I was young, one of the people we worked with, the clients we worked with, he owned properties, and he used to go and decorate it himself. But I think it was 75 and going old, and no surprise, right? He died doing what he did best. I'm saying that's not the way forward for me anyway. I'd rather be sitting here making money rather than dying on the building site.
For you,
Look,
that was perfect because dying while doing what you love to do is like being in heaven.
nah. Look, yeah, we say that. We
It's
say
like being
that.
in
It's
heaven
not
on earth
true.
already.
It's not
That's exactly what
true.
it is.
Oh man, I think that's such a weird way of looking at life. You don't want to. You want to die doing nothing.
That's the next Annie. That's the next slogan for our event. Do you want to die at your 9 to 5?
Yeah, now let's ask the question. Now let's ask the question. I think it's one to ask for sure, right? I'm writing it down. Now, do you want to die doing your 9 to 5? The answer to that is no. But do you want to die in your own business? Think of that. Do you want to die in your own business? No, you want to exit by then. Sharon Rose, that's where I'm
Retire.
totally. You
No,
want to leave.
I
You want to retire. You want to go and rest up.
I
You want
disagree
to know. Why do you disagree, Michael? I want to go to Coach David as well, because now he's here.
because you die faster when you rest up at old age, and that's proven.
Rest up doesn't mean do nothing. Rest up mean like when I say, no, you see my friend Ronald. His retirement is spent learning AI, how to talk to AI, how to make AI more human, and he spends his days doing that. I'm saying, right, he's 70 something. He's enjoying life. You
You
don't
can
want to
certainly
just slow
you
down.
can certainly find other passions,
Yes,
but do something. Don't do nothing.
you have to do something, otherwise you're dead. Mm.
Yeah,
And
and
I
that's
know
why
what I mean.
and that's what I'm trying to avoid people understanding is that don't do nothing. You
Mm.
gotta do something, and you
Okay.
gotta keep active. You gotta keep living.
Yep, for sure, for sure. Now, look, living and working are two different things, whether in your business or someone else's business. I think this is where we have to find that sweet spot where we build a business that can run. This is the point of this room that Christina and I created, right? You can build a business and build the foundations that can be profitable and like we talked about earlier. I don't know whether you were here, Michael. Having an exit strategy where you can sell this business of yours. That's what you want to be doing. Sharon Rose, I'm with you. She wants to be frolicking freely at 150 years old.
You can
Like,
either sell it or you can even give it away to your children who can continue to pursue it for their own
Legacy.
grandchildren way down the road. That's also another option.
it is. But it's very hard these days to expect your dream to be your children's dream. If you are Mr. Murdoch and you have billions and gazillions, pound companies, dollar companies like Sky and so on, and Fox, I'm saying that's a different league to most ordinary people, right? And today, most business sales happen because the kids don't want to run it. The old man has had enough and he's like, right, I need to stop. And the kid's like, well, we don't want it, sell it. And then they find that the business is not worth jack. It's a problem. Look, Michael, thank you so much. To say, Sharon Rose, I agree with you. We need to walk the talk. That's what branding really is, right? You asked a branding question there. To create a brand. Maybe that's another question on our list, Christina. So I believe in creating a brand from day one. I believe in creating an identity. And I think a brand essentially to me, it's not just the color, it's not the logo, it's having a name that's recognizable, but also I want to be recognized for doing things in a certain way. That's real brand building. When you're not there, when people talk about you, they know who you are, they know how you work, they know what makes you different, what makes you special compared to others. But you must walk the talk. You can't just talk about it. You actually have to do it. So that's I said. My question to Coach David as well, I guess, is, and you, Christine, and those in the audience, do you create a brand from day one, or do you grow into your brand? Yeah. Okay. I think. Go on, Christina. What do you think?
Well, ideally, if you start out knowing, right, exactly what it's going to look like, and you've been thinking about it for so long, and now you just decide to take action, ideally, it means that you're coming at it with clarity. So yes, you can create the brand from day one. However, what you're gonna be doing today is not gonna be what you're doing in 2 years from now. So
I'm glad you
so
said that.
yeah, so you grow into your brand, right? So when I first started out, first I was learning how to use LinkedIn, right? So I didn't have fancy posts. Some of my initial posts are on post-its with a little mini avatar of me that says "Let's talk," right? But believe it or not, one of those post-its got me my first client, and so it was something that I said. It was something that I was writing that got their attention, and they became my client because we had a conversation, not because of the ugly post-it, right? So and that's why in the end I don't believe that the logo, the this, it's all important. You'll refine it over time. If it is important to you to have the banner, sure, go for it, right? But I refined mine several times. I know it's not perfect. I like it right now. Many people approach me, do this, do that, put this here, but that's not what's bringing me my business. It's not my LinkedIn banner. It's not that, right? But it is, you grow into your brand. So 3 years ago, I basically was helping people that wanted to start an online store, wanted to sell things online, and they had an idea, but they were not sure how to present it. And over time, I made the connection that yes, you source products, you sell them online, you can use third party marketplaces. But now I had this wonderful world of social media that I was, growing into, and I made the connection that you can actually bring so many people that are interested in the niche to your online store that you built. So my brand has completely evolved over time. But the heart of it, the fact that I wanted to help other people building a business out of a passion, still stays and still remains. It just keeps evolving.
Mm. Nice. Look, I like that the fact you say, what we do today is like what we're going to be doing in 2 years' time. If you told me that, I would have argued with you at the time. So when I started off, I was a pure marketer, social media, websites, emails, LinkedIn, lead gen became my savior because people don't pay you for those things. They could do, some do, but not enough people do, right? So I had to find something else. And my savior was LinkedIn. That's why I'm a LinkedIn. Call it what you like. And LinkedIn addict. My business is built on LinkedIn. So then I switched from pure marketing to search and connect, lead generation. Call it that. And then since then, I've switched to publishing books. I do now, and marketing books. Your business is going to look very different further down the line, but you must start somewhere. And I think Dr. Marcia made some very good points. So Coach, if you want to add to this part of the conversation, my friend, you feel free, right? Dr. Marcia was talking about you have to find a fulfilling role, responsibilities, and literally you got to find what you love and what you're good at. Isn't that a trick question? There's two things there, my friends. I think they're different things, but they're the same thing. So I get it, Dr. Marcia. Do you do what you love, or do you do what you're good at, Christina and Coach David? What is your idea for the side hustle to business conversation?
Want me to answer?
Yeah, well, I want you both to answer. Let's go to
Okay.
Coach David, then I'll come to you.
So do you do what you love or do you do what you're good at, right? Well,
Yes.
you have to see if what you love is something you're good at, and you have to test it.
True.
And if you have a strong attachment to what you love, right, then you have to make it your business to invest in yourself so that you can really become good at it, or refine the skills and the passion that you have into something that grows over time. Now, if what you're good at you actually love, easy, right? So it's a win-win
Win-win,
right there.
win-win, win-win. That's a win-win, right? See, but it's
But
a
I
risk.
do both. I do
Yeah,
both.
I think if you get good at something, I think you get to love it in the end.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a happy days. But I think for a long time, you won't necessarily love what you do. And a lot of people here listen, they're thinking, Any, have you gone mad? No. Yes, we should do what we love, but I think if you're not good at doing something, you're not going to last long. That's the problem. So the passion alone can never sustain a business. You need mastery. Then there's some. I think trying to do this conversation in one go, Christina, is too much.
Oh
We need to
yeah.
break it down into different components. Even to you spoke earlier even about the family thing. Sort out your personal life, because they won't understand when you start off, when you make the transition. Your family will be looking at you going, "What are you doing? Go and get a job. Who do you think you are?" So there's a whole thinking strategy that you have to do, and maybe it's a resilience you have to develop as well. So I'm sure we'll find a way to bring this conversation back more than once. Coach David, you've been too quiet, my friend. You have not muted. It's a worry. Are you there? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, Henny. How are you?
See, that's why I did my 5 to 1. I'm all right, Coach David. How are you doing?
I'm good. Apologies that I've been listening in, and I'm excited. Christina, you're doing super amazing work. I really appreciate. You've said a lot of things, and that's why I've been quiet, Henny, um, because she's done super work. I just want to add a few things about a feedback about what you said. What you're doing right now isn't what you'll be doing in 2 years' time. That's genius. Please shorten that to maybe 6 months. Shorten that to maybe daily. What you're doing today isn't what you're going to be doing tomorrow. That's because there are about 5 things going on at once. One, you're trying to make money. Two, you're trying to develop a product. Three, you're trying to satisfy your customers. I mean, the amount of roller coaster, the amount of variation in your activities, even from a branding perspective, is very. And you don't have a budget to do it. You don't have the budget to do all the things that will occur to you. So you must identify in the mix of the madness what methods you will employ. The only thing is authenticity is probably what you have a hope for, and not overstretch yourself. That's my opinion. Because you're young in business at that time, maybe one should just focus on serving your customers and using that as your brand energy. The reflection of the kind of work you do, where you merge your identity into every piece of deliverable that goes out. You're a fashion designer, let it be a signature moment for every single client, so that each single client talks to 10 people minimum. So that piece of cloth as if is a queen that will put it on, and sew it like you are doing. It's just when you serve someone, you put energy into the service, you transmit energy psycho emotionally into that delivery, so that the person is forced to talk about you and your restaurant or your cloth to the next person. When someone serves you well, you can't keep it to yourself. Make sure you pile energy into making the bottle, the cup overflow. Give them an experience that makes it difficult not to come back again.
Yeah.
That is your brand. Your key branding artifact should make your production line at the beginning, because you don't have the money to make noise. Let the noise be in the work. And remember, your first 10 customers, your first 20, your first 30, your first 40, your first 100 customers are your real billboards.
Oh,
That's my recommendation.
oh, Coach
The other
David,
one,
you're sharing gems. Now, really, this is fundamental for those who want to make the transition. I really think it is. Right? I think many people are that they want more. They want more customers. They want 10 customers. They want 20 customers. Right? I wanted big customers on day one. Of course, I did. I realized, as you're saying, Coach David, that if I got a big, let's say I got a Coca-Cola company come to me, even now, I would blow it. I don't have the resources. I don't even have the knowledge to do what they want. I know what they want.
exactly.
I'm saying, but no, but you now if you treat your customers one by one, as you said, as your walking adverts. Now, if you make every customer your signature customer, you will succeed because then you can charge whatever you like. Really, so a lot of people, they think if I charge cheap and I get loads of people, loads of website visits, loads of clicks, I'm like, no, just focus on one person at a time. Do one person at a time.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's too slow. I'm like, it's not too slow because when you do one person at a time, like you say, you get from one, you get to 10, you get to 100, and now you can employ people because you have such a good business that people trust. People are willing to invest the money in that you can grow. It's that's fundamentals. Sorry, I had to interject for that very reason.
No, you're absolutely spot on because you don't have the budget to make. So there are two parts of branding, generally speaking. In a certain sense, there is what you want to, the idea, the core idea. Then there are the multiplied by platforms or expressions or core concepts multiplied by the drama or the communication. When you don't have money to communicate everything inside the delivery. It's only wise that you leave a taste on the palate. Let them taste your delivery and let it be palatable. And thank you, Annie, for that. The second thing is that you don't want to overstretch yourself buying, for example, Facebook ads, YouTube ads, or buying any fanciful ads because you don't have the budget to outspend the people who are already matured in that industry. Your delivery, what you're good at, and because you've gotten feedback, like Christina said, because the joke is that the comedian is not funny. I once, after university, decided to do comedy. For whatever reason, I was young enough to think I could be a comedian. I had some success, but after a while, I found that I was not as funny as I thought. Now, that's the joke. So when people are laughing, they are laughing at the comedian, not at the joke. So test and get feedback in the first customer, the second one, the third one. That's valuable brand planning tool. This is your real planning input into your brand planning process. The experience is the brand. So what you're good what you're good at is non-negotiable. What you enjoy doing may be a more complex question. It's strange if you don't enjoy doing something and you are good at it. It's possible, but it's very strange. But the more you are in the zone where you're good at something, you have a passion for it, or you love doing it, the more your chance of success. And you see, work becomes play for you, and play becomes work. That zone is a zone you should think entrepreneurship in. Activities or things that overlap in between what you enjoy doing and what you also do very well. If there's a disconnect in that place, something must give way. The business may not survive, or you may not survive. Or you can even create a demand that you're not ready to supply at another level. So that question is, it must be both. You enjoy doing it and you are absolutely good at it. Make a list of those items that you're good at and you enjoy doing. That may be the best place to start from because it not affects your branding. My last shot on this area is that you have the benefit of an effort. It's like having a fish pond. You can throw your net and they can catch 1,000 fishes. I can throw your net and just catch one big fish because you have the ability to also design your results per time. Don't bake more than you can eat. Don't make the mistake of my young cousin who saw jollof rice. I hope Christina knows what jollof rice is. There's this debate whether it's Ghanaian jollof rice or Nigerian jollof rice is better or South African jollof rice. Although Michael will say South Africa or Zimbabwe, I will say no, it's Nigerian. And any friends will say it's that other person's jollof rice. What's the bigger point? Because you love jollof rice, don't pack too much jollof rice that you can eat. Take little jollof rice, a little piece of chicken, a little jollof rice, a little piece of chicken until you are full, but don't come and waste it. So there are people that do big ads and they call big people and they've not failed at small levels. They've not failed at small levels. You need to fail. You need to get to the end of that your gift or that your initial passion so that you will know who you should hire next or what you should hire next. So you want to, oh, I'm the most, let's say, for example, I think I'm the most funny comedian in town. Until I stood before a crowd of that, this happened to me practically. I stood before a crowd of 10,000 people and I froze. I couldn't say a word. Up till that time, the highest amount of crowd I've spoken before was about 2,000. And there was this event where I was invited and given 7 full minutes. I made a jest of myself. Look, I wasn't ready for that crowd. It was too large, too big. I was about 26 at the time, I think. What's the point? After then, I've spoken to a crowd of 14,000, 15,000. After that time, what's the bigger point? Give yourself opportunity to fail in the earlier months, weeks, and years. It will give you feedback about what to scale and how to scale. Every business will tell you what to do next. But don't forget the point. Identity is your first delivery. That's your brand identity. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. They say fail fast, fail forward, right? Do it quick. Fail many times. You learn a lot of lessons. Christina, please feel free. Do you want to feedback to Coach David? Or do you want to talk about whatever you want to talk about? It's up to you. You're muted. You're still muted.
Yes, I was muted. So not necessarily feedback, but something about you were selling about selling yourself short. Don't make that mistake. So this comes to mind. A lot of people that are stepping into, no longer a 9 to 5. Now I'm working for myself. We talk often about pricing. Should my price be flexible, or should I have fixed price because I believe in my service and that's what it is, right? That to me, it's linked a lot with you growing with your brand and with your brand evolving over time. And the thing that is attached to your brand is your services, right? So you have to decide also what are the door openers. So, for example, I have door openers. Not everybody is ready to go all in and say, okay, I want to work with you for 6 months. That's your package. Great. I'm enrolled, right? Some people want to sample, test the water, and really understand where they are at right now. So, by you entertaining the conversations, for example, in your 15-minute coffee chats, and work with the client, tailoring a package that you can live with, but also helps them in this moment, you're actually building a bunch of door openers offers that can over time materialize and grow into something more. These I learned while I was building my business inside hustle mode, right? I thought I'd roll down with my pricing, but then I said, okay, well, I'm working right now. Let me actually learn from this client, because they don't need all this stuff that I'm offering, or they believe they don't. Because sometimes people don't know what they need, right? They want something this simple so far. So let me actually create that. I wasn't in the market to create something like that as part of my brand, but I tried because I could help them, and I could help them really easily, right? So a couple of years later, now I'm working with them on a bigger project. So that's the thing, right? So adapt with your brand, stay open, flexibility, but yes, don't go and on a Facebook or Meta ad and saying coaching only $20 for an hour, right? Don't go and do that, because that's completely underselling. But if you met somebody, also it depends. How did you meet somebody? Was this person a referral? Was this person somebody that you interacted with over time, right? Especially on this platform. Does this person live in your ecosystem? Like they know somebody that you know, they know somebody that you know. So, that's something that you have to think strategy even then, even during these conversations. Is it beneficial for me to help this person with this particular need that they have right now, even if that's not exactly what I do? And it turns out that I'm a firm believer that this, you can really not lose when you help somebody with you, when you know you can offer the solution, even if it's not the big grand solution that you're imagining, right? And you can just make somebody help at this particular moment. Because in the end, what that turned out to be also for me was free PR. Person was happy, told other people, great.
I think that's what Coach David was saying about using that first customer. That every customer is your billboard, your walking billboard. You can
Hmm.
afford someone. Right? Look, so that's they say we'll cover many things. So the one thing I want to know is, now we'll save this for next time, Christina. You have to tell us the story of 5 businesses. What happened to them? What you learned? You
What
know,
did you say, Kenny?
is it your first 5? It's your first few businesses that didn't
Oh,
work. You know, I'm
oh,
I'm always I'm always nosy, so I say let's not do it. Let's save that for next time. So next
okay.
show we start with that. You know, so now we've got a serious plan, my friends. Hopefully, it's been a useful conversation today. I've enjoyed it. Now Sharon Rose enjoyed it too. She says incredible session. Catch you on the flip side. You know, it's our twins turned 13 today. Congratulations! Well, happy birthday to your twins. Did you say congratulations to parents? I don't know. What? Happy birthday anyway. You know, 13. What a wonderful age. Yeah. You know, teenagers. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. You know, so mine's my youngest is 16, and I'm happy and I'm at peace. You know, when my kids were 13, God knows, God help me. You know, I was yeah, different place. But my friends, Christina, thank you for an amazing conversation. So I
Thank
look
you.
forward to our next show in 2 weeks' time. Well, it's up from 29th we've put in the diary, right? 29th, what we say, because I'm in Ghana. And then we'll come back again and we'll carry on the conversation, you know. And then we'll find a way to share what we discuss in this room in a book. If it involves any, it involves a book somewhere, right? So, you know, expect me and Christina to write a book about this transition, you know, to being your own boss and escaping a 9 to 5. We may call it something else. Who knows, right? Well, thank you, everyone. So I truly appreciate you spending your time with us. Christina, how do people get hold of you?
Well, my main thing is LinkedIn, so DM works. There's a Calendly link, but if any of those times don't work for you, just go ahead and send me a message. So yes, LinkedIn is my actually main landing page. So go ahead and reach out to me there.
Excellent. Please now put your LinkedIn profile in the comments if you don't mind, because it says me doing it, and it will be there. And if you want to make a comment, it's much easier for people to connect with you. If you want to connect with Christine, I don't know how to because you're not connected at all because you're too far from on LinkedIn's. It's a 3 tier, say first, second, or third degree connection thing. Send me a DM. I'll connect you two together. Right? So, yeah, I say thank you, everyone. Coach David, Michael, is there anything you want to add before we go? Otherwise, we can call it a day. So, we've got 5 minutes
No,
left.
it's been quite lovely, Christina. I certainly appreciate you coming on board.
You
And
got to talk louder, man. You got to talk louder.
I always forget that I have to move my mic towards my mouth in order to talk a little louder. Sorry about that,
Thank
Christina.
you. Thank
Um,
you.
it's been great having you on board. Certainly appreciate you coming. And the gems that you've been able to deliver were excellent, and we could tell that they are raw because you dug them up yourself. I certainly appreciate that as well. Come again,
She
please.
will.
Come again.
Thank you for your kind words. Thank you so much. I love how no one sees me here. They only see you, Christina, but it's fine. It's fine. I can live with it. Coach David, please.
Yes, this is super interesting conversation that should actually move, and I'll join any. Michael, good to hear your voice again. By the way, you know that love you loads, brother. Any, I think,
Yeah, same
please.
here, David. Same here.
Thanks, man. So, Annie, I think I'm joining my voice with yours to say, Christina, please let's have the book. There's a huge number of persons all over the world who want to transition, and there's a need to have second economies or secondary. economics or secondary financial means, especially because of the tax systems of the world, because of the life design elements. Many women are finding it difficult to cope with family life versus having a job, and the economies of the world is ripe all over the world for new disruptions. And as we go into AI, more persons will lose their jobs. So, Christina, you are a savior, a knight in shining armor that deserves to be heard more and more. And more people need to, your market, your addressable market for your book and seminars and materials are about to get bigger. And I would say to you, get ready for a lot of more attention and business, and we should have you more speak out. I'll just say 30 seconds on pricing. Pricing is a game of psychology. And like you said, pricing has different models. At the end of the day, the key is that the entrepreneur must not stop. And entrepreneurs have the idea, there's a way you can get focused on the business and everything else except your personal growth. The entrepreneurs I know who never done any course on pricing psychology, they don't even know it exists. That and they don't know they can get much more for what they are doing. All of those bodies of knowledge we need to make more accessible in a nice and kind way. And the personal development plan of the entrepreneur is also very key. That's my last point. How much would you spend on your soul? Your soul meaning the realm of your will, emotion, and intellect, your ability to make decisions. How much will you spend on the engine that's carrying your business? Every empire rises and falls to the degree of the strength of the emperor's soul. If the emperor's soul is weak, the thinking process of the entrepreneur is weak, the empire will crumble. And it starts from the fringe edges, the products, the people, the delivery teams. But if your mind is sharp and strong, so every entrepreneur needs personal development budget. You need to plan how much you will spend for Christina and her clan. And you need a lot of Christinas on the journey to success. So that's my last take. Thank you, Annie, for bringing Christina, and thank Christina and Michael. Awesome sharing the room with you guys.
Thank you so much, Coach. Thank you so much. Christina, I'll give you the last word because it's your show, right? All right. Yeah. Sorry, I just kind of enter a comment and I could lose myself. Christina, so thank you again. Dr. Guanyama, I see Dr. Noella. Dr. Noella is going to be my next superstar, by the way, that you're going to meet as one of my co-hosts. Her book, The CEO, I guess, the Diary of the CEO Who Didn't Get Any Training to Build a Global Brand. That's the book she's working on. Like, yeah, stop telling them. It's coming, right, Dr. Noella? I know it's coming. And so we're on the second stage of editing as we speak. So next few weeks, Dr. Noella, no pressure. Guess I'm going to be making the changes, please. I'm just saying. Anyway, you guys Christina, so
That would be
I'll let you have
the
the last word. Okay?
Okay. So, last word, escaping this 9 to 5, right? It takes work. Uh, it's possible. It is doable. But if you're serious about it, you have to start working on it now. You know what, when you start working on it while you're employed, it makes it easier to cope with the job where you don't want to go to the job that you have overgrown, because you have a plan, you're working on something. So you can take all the drama and the shenanigans at the place of work much better. You actually get healthier, because you have a goal, you have a vision. There is something that you're following and you're shooting for. And as the little wins pile up, you start believing in yourself and in this thing that you want to build more and more and more and more. So just don't be a fool. Don't just run out of there because everything is going crazy. Just, build your escape plan, build it now, little by little, piece by piece, so that when you go to bed and you have to wake up early to go to that work, what, the last action that I took before going to bed is advance towards what I'm building for my future. And really be frugal if you have to, save some money, create the runway for you, and pick a date. Pick a date and go for it. I picked a date long time ago. So pick a date, And as you're approaching to the date, you know that you mean business. You're gonna end up doing a little bit more work, reaching out to a little bit more people. Start telling people it's happening. It's happening next month. And tell to as many people that it's safe for you to tell to. Those especially that are gonna support you. And I'm not gonna say just do it, because it's not just doing it. It's start working on it now. Ask for help. Listen. Join more conversations here on LinkedIn. Ask questions and make sure that you have clarity on what it is that you want to do. Right? Test it, pilot it, see if it's making. If it's getting some attention. It doesn't mean that it has to earn money right away. It means that people actually want to hear from you. They want to have more conversations with you, and that's also validation right then and there. If you're sharing some of your best stuff in a live for free, right? For free, you're not giving it away. You're claiming space. You're getting yourself out there. You're getting known. And if somebody just like today on this live, says, I really enjoyed what you talked about, that's validation right then and there. That's something you can build on. Anytime somebody comments, oh, I really like that, that's something you can build on. So those are my last words for today.
And for today, not forever. No, thank you
Yes.
so much. We'll cover quite a lot, and there's much more that we're going to cover. I think making this leap is the biggest challenge we're ever going to have in life. It's the hardest thing we're ever going to do. And so I love your point. We need money. People don't know how much money we need to build a business. We need money. So part of the reason I can't quit now is because I spent all the money on my business. There's no plan B, so I must make it work. I must, and it's working. 10 years on, the life that we know awaits those who succeed, Christina, is there. The life is the fact that every day I wake up in peace. My clients might have a problem, not me. I've built a life where I know what I'm doing. I know how to do it so well. I can do it in my sleep. I love what I do, and it helps people, and they're willing to pay me good money for it. So I'll take it, right? So that's the joy for entrepreneurs, and so building a team, the growth that we can achieve, the ideas that we can create. Coach David and I say embarking on this speaking tour to inspire people, for example, about business growth in Africa. I'm saying now these are things you can do when down the line when you've built a business, when you're more stable, more secure. That's the joy of entrepreneurship. Hopefully,
Hey,
if someone listens to us and does what we say, Christian, I'll take it. But one could be 10, could be 20, could be 100. Right? Yeah. Michael, you've unmuted.
yeah, I got a question for you.
Go for it.
You mentioned sleeping,
Yes.
and I'm very puzzled because I am wondering to myself, does any really sleep? I mean,
Yes.
that's totally new to me.
Christina told you how I sleep earlier. I said to you, you got to find time in between stuff to sleep. So okay, I
I
sleep
must
most
have
days.
missed it.
Yeah, maybe. So no, I sleep most. I heard, and I know what she was saying. That's why it stuck with me, right? I sleep pretty much most days. I sleep in the morning my time, so 6 till 12. I tell people quite clearly my boundaries. Call me before 12. I'm not going to answer you unless your house is
You know,
burning down. I'm still not going to answer
I
you.
may never know because I'm always seeing you on LinkedIn. I mean, there's not
I'm not always on
a
late. No,
tons
no.
like this guy he never sleeps. I mean,
You
the
work out
true
whether you
not
see me before.
sleeper.
Have you seen me before 12 UK time, Michael? Before 7 EST? I said, no, you don't see me. I'm not here.
I'm gonna have to experiment on that. I'm
Yeah,
probably
try it.
asleep by
Try it.
then.
See, but that said, today I stayed awake because I had a show at 12. So I had to.
Oh,
So I thought there's no point
today's
in me
the
going to
other.
sleep.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
Christina has
So
to
you
go. So
do.
now we're going, Christina. So in 10 seconds, then we'll go. So today, literally, I had to go and get my tire fixed. After the show, I did and came back and slept. And we're here. Christina, enjoy, my friend. Take care. Take care.
Thank you. See you guys
Talk on
next
the
time.
next episode. Bye bye,
See you later.
everyone. Bye.
Here's a newbie for your drama. She's success with Global.Media.com. And celebrate it with or without champagne or rum. She's success with Global.